Okay, so this video is gonna be about your parents not believing in you. I want to share my personal story. My parents don't believe in me. They don't believe in my ability to achieve my dreams and to reach my goals. So basically, I dropped out of college 2 years ago and it didn't please my parents at all. At all. They were mad at me. They were disappointed. And what made it worse is that I told them that I would never go back to college and never get a college degree. I told them that I would pursue an unconventional path. So I wouldn't be getting a college degree and joining the corporate world. And I dropped out of college 2 years ago, and my parents are still pressuring me with going back to college and getting a degree and not necessarily joining the corporate world, but they're telling me that I need a college degree for security. And what really hurts me is that to this day, we still have the same conversation with my parents. I tell them that I believe in myself. I believe in my abilities, and I believe that it is going to work out for me. I truly do. Even despite that, my parents don't believe that it's enough. They just can't accept that me believing in myself is enough. They're still saying that I need to go to college and get a degree for security or whatever. So basically, they don't support me. And I didn't even think that 2 years after me dropping out of college, they would still talk about that. I thought it was done, but looks like it isn't. And if you're watching this video, it's probably because your parents don't believe in you either. I want to share with you a few things I've learned along the way, not on how to deal with my parents, because personally with my parents, I can tell them anything I want. They're still not going to understand my point of view. They're still not going to support me or believe in me, but I want to share with you some things I learned. The first one is that your parents, my parents, are projecting their limiting beliefs, their desire, their brainwashing, and their insecurities onto you. So they're not coming from a place of clarity. They're governed by their beliefs, by their desires, by their insecurities, and they're simply just projecting their fears onto you, their beliefs and their fears onto you. That's why it's not really your parents. You should see it as it's not your parents, but it's their fears, their insecurities, their desires, their limiting beliefs. The second thing I learned is that me and my parents, we didn't grow up in the same generation. My parents were in their 20s, like 20 or 30 years ago. I think it was in the 90s, early 20s. I don't even know, okay? But we didn't grow up in the same generation. So you have to know, like, that's something they maybe don't realize, but you have to realize that what was good 30 years ago isn't necessarily the best today, because the world has changed so much with the digital age, etc., that we just have so many options today. We have so many options. Back in the day, maybe the best path, what was considered the best path, because there weren't that many options back then. So maybe what was considered to be the best path 20, 30 years ago was going to college, a top college, then getting a degree, then joining the corporate world, and then getting higher and higher and higher. That was the dream back then. But now that's not really the dream. So you have to understand that your parents have outdated beliefs and they're viewing life through the lens of the past. So they don't have this clarity. They're not really objective. They don't know of all the opportunities us young people have today. with social media, with the internet. You can be a digital nomad, you can be an entrepreneur, you can be so many things today. And that's something parents in their 40s and 50s and 60s have a hard time grasping. The third thing I've learned is that your parents believe that they know what's best for you, but the truth is that they don't even know you. If your parents don't support your choices, that may be because you and your parents don't really have a close relationship, so they don't really know you, and they believe they know what's best for you, but in reality they don't know you. They only know what they want. Like, they only know what they think is best for their children, but for you personally, they don't really know what's good for you. Only you know what's best for yourself, because no one is gonna know you better than you know yourself. So that might be a reason, your parents believe they know what's best for you, but they simply just don't know you. So those are the things I've learned, and that has made me feel more at peace with my parents and not really resenting them for that. And I want to tell you that what matters is that you believe in yourself. If you have your own support, then you have all the support that you need. Having your parents support you is a bonus, but it's not really a requirement, It's ideally your parents are going to support you and are going to believe in you, but if they don't, you have yourself, and that's what matters. And also, I think what was the hardest for me is that I'm a very optimistic and positive person. So I always think about the positive. I always think of the positive, but I'm also aware that choosing an unconventional path means more risks, more uncertainties, more obstacles, and more setbacks and more failures. But I'm okay with that. I'm okay with failing. I'm okay with obstacles. I'm okay with all that, because I realize that this is part of the process. When you choose an unconventional path, you gotta be okay with that. You gotta be okay that it's gonna be harder for you, But that's in the end, that's something I'm totally at peace with, because I know that it's gonna happen. It's just going to be part of the journey. But what happens is that my mom, especially my mom, my dad doesn't really say anything, but my mom always tell me, oh, what if you fail? What if you have this obstacle? What if you have this setback? She's just always focusing on the uncertainties, on the setbacks, the obstacles, the potential failures. And when when you choose an unconventional path, you gotta be positive. You cannot allow yourself to have self-doubts. So when you have someone constantly telling you, what if you fail? What if you face this obstacle? What if you face this setback? You don't need to hear that, right? So you just need to learn to block this out. If in your heart you know that you're on the right path, then truly that's what matters. And also, something about failure is that failure is not an end. It's actually a lesson. Even if you fail, it doesn't matter. You're going to get back up and you're going to continue. You're going to learn and you're going to improve. And if you're having doubts, remember that you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. This is my favorite Steve Jobs quote. And whenever I feel uncertain and I'm starting to have doubts, I repeat myself, you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So this video was quite short, but I really wanted to talk about this because I know that there are people out there whose parents don't believe in them and don't believe in their plans, in their goals, in their ability to reach their dreams. It sucks because we all wish we had parents that were supportive and that had this unconditional belief in us and in our abilities. But remember that as long as you have yourself, as long as you have a belief in yourself and a belief that you can do it, then you have everything you need. And also remember that it has nothing to do about you. It has everything to do about them. Because as I said, They're projecting their limiting beliefs, their insecurities, their fears, their wishes and desires. It's just all theirs. Nothing is yours. So remember that it's not about you. The truth is that each person lives in their own reality, dictated by their own set of beliefs that they believe are truth and reality. Remember that they're only projecting their insecurities, fears, and limiting beliefs onto you because that's the only reality they know. I truly hope you're gonna keep following your heart and do what's best for you. I'm rooting for you, and I hope to see you in the next video.